Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Breaking news from Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. No tariffs on all new Kias. Put your tax refund to work today. That's right. While others talk tariffs, Greenway Kia gives you unbeatable deals. Tariff-free. Turn your tax refund into your dream ride now. Like a 2024 Kia Telluride starting at just $38,998. That's thousands less than the competition. Plus 0% financing available on select models and tariff-free pre-owned vehicles ready to roll. Got a trade? Push it, pull it, drag it. Any make, any miles, any condition. We'll take it. Got a job making $350 a week? Our lenders want to approve you. Put your tax refund to good use. Drive away tariff-free today at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval terms, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. Offers don't combine.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Some classics never fade, like a perfect fastball, a game-winning 3, and ESPN Radio. Stay in the zone with your old school home for modern sports talk, ESPN 1063.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Good people. Steele Dorsey.
May the force be with you.
Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is hosting Star Wars Night on Saturday, April 26th at 6 p.m. Come see the Jupiter Hammerheads and Palm Beach Cardinals face off in a galaxy not too far away. Take pictures with your favorite movie characters and enjoy the fireworks after the game. To purchase tickets and to find out more information, stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
NBA playoffs underway. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs underway. NFL draft week. MLB regular season. A lot going on here in the sports world. Lots to talk about, lots to do. Next 2 hours right here on Russo and Rizzo. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Russo with you. Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. Right here on ESPN 1063 on your radio dial. Also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Should be a fun one today. Monday, April the 21st, 2025. You got the first round of the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. You got the Knicks and taking on the Pistons again in Game 2 tonight. You got the Clippers taking on the Nuggets in Game 2 tonight on the NBA side of things. NHL's been in full steam ahead. We got Jonathan Zazo coming up a little later on in the program, so it should be a lot of fun as we take you along. Stick along with us on this ride for the next 2 hours. NFL draft week. I get into it. I've probably been less into it this year than I have been in many years past. But the one thing I got to give the NFL draft, at least the intrigue about it, is I think it's substantial comparatively to years past. Why do I say that? I think that when you go through all your sports mediums, your NFL draft insiders, your reporters, your mock draft people, the people who hypothesize left and right about who's going where and when, I think this year, and I think it stems with the uncertainty at the quarterback class, I think this year above most years prior, is a year that is surrounded with uncertainty, and I think that makes it better. The intrigue is heightened because I don't think any of these people know what's going on. I don't think any of these people know where anybody is going. I think there is a couple inklings to a couple directions, 1 and 2. I think after that, I think it's pretty much a crapshoot as to where these teams are leaning. Maybe I haven't been paying attention enough, but I think cards close to their chest, top 10 at least, and that sets the foundation for the rest of the draft. I'm not on the team that any of these insiders have any idea. Every year, every week, every day, we hear, you know what? Well, they like him. They like him. Well, the Giants like him.
Did you see the recent news is that the Jags are the unknown.
Which is a good thing.
The Jags are the unknown. You're Jacksonville Jags. But Colin, to your point of, the draft and what we've known. So for 2023, 2024, you had the 2 quarterback prospects. Let's rewind to 2024. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. You knew those 3 were going to go pretty high. 2023, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. You knew that those 2 guys / 3 guys were going to go really high in the draft. You really don't know outside of Cam Ward. And I think we're all expecting Tennessee. I haven't necessarily heard that they're completely sold on Cam Ward. Yeah, I think I'm expecting them.
We're 90-10.
And Callahan's an offensive guy. I think he wants to figure out his franchise quarterback.
I saw a video of Cam Ward playing video games online, and people are asking him who his favorite receivers in the league are, and he was saying Calvin Ridley. So I'm led to believe that he is under the impression on top of everybody else.
Now, then maybe we could take that report all those months back during the pro day that Tennessee, the price just went up. I also think not a lot of teams are calling. I don't think a lot of teams are calling Cleveland for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think a lot of teams are calling the Giants to step up and draft Shedeur Sanders if Cleveland were to take Travis Hunter, because that's the popular thing right now.
I think those 2 are probably the most popular picks we have in the entire first round, and that is it.
Right.
I think once you get to 3, it's a crapshoot.
Outside of Hunter and Cam Ward, you have no idea. I completely agree.
Which is good. You never have this.
It is.
I remember back in when in that Fournette draft when you knew it was going to be Goff, then Wentz, and then you go down the list. This year, we knew Caleb Williams was going to be first. Jaden Daniels, it was between him and May sitting there. And we knew all the quarterbacks would go early. We knew Penix was probably going to be reached for. We knew Bo Nix was probably going to reach for. We definitely knew that J.J. McCarthy was going to be reached for.
Yep.
This was all known going into the draft. I think the quarterbacks set the skeleton of the first round at the very least. They set the skeleton. The foundation is set once the quarterback-needy teams sort of find their pairing. There was none of that this year. And I think that's a good thing. You had Adam Schefter tweeting on one side that he's heard from multiple NFL general managers that there are 0, not including Cam Ward, 0 first-round worthy quarterbacks in this year's draft. And I think the rest of the teams are sort of having to settle for some of these players. And I think because of that, none of these guys know, these insiders that is, know where any of these guys are going. Good.
Yeah.
A little uncertainty for once.
And Colin, even some of those reports that some of those teams planting seeds, right? Planting seeds that they don't plan to do this, that they don't plan.
There's been no trades.
It's a lot of misdirection this time of the year.
Right.
Let's agree on that. And I still think Shedeur Sanders is going to be it. My best guess, Colin, I think Shedeur will still be a top 5 pick. You know there's going to be a desperate team that wants to trade up for a quarterback, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, I disagree with the take that I've been seeing lately that Jackson Dart is going to go higher than Shedeur Sanders. There's been a couple of rumblings about that. I'm not buying that.
I think they say that because nobody knows. I think that's the bottom line. Nobody knows. You think Shedeur's going where? We could list 5 teams right now that Shedeur is going to.
You could be the Jets or the Raiders going to put him on a project.
Or are the Saints going to do it? Or the Giants going to? Nobody knows.
Steelers.
That top 10, unknown. People, Ashton Genty, the great running back from Boise State, being floated to Vegas. Oh, now he's not. Carolina loves wide receivers. Oh, now they don't.
Yeah.
Jacksonville. To Jacksonville's credit, I knew for years with Trent Baalke as the general manager, who was the previous guy, where Jacksonville was going in the draft. He loved leaking this stuff. It was a load of crap. They got the new kid in, James Gladstone, who was a Rams guy. And the Rams, who are one of the teams you never hear what they're going to do before the draft.
Yeah, they can't. And even you can say the same stuff about McVay, too. I know he's not the GM, but that's how they operate.
They never know. You never know. And I think Jacksonville has embodied that a little bit. So they're a bit of an unknown. They're a bit of a wild card. Mel Kiper joined on Sportsmanlike earlier today. Do we have this audio?
Yes.
I believe Mel Kiper,
with Jacksonville.
When Evan Cohen on Unsportsmanlike, which is the morning show on ESPN Radio, asked Mel Kiper about where Jacksonville's going, I think The bottom line is Mel had no idea. Take a listen to Mel Kiper earlier today on Unsportsmanlike.
It means that they could take somebody other than Mason Graham, because I think if you look back on mock drafts going back to early January or even before Christmas, Mason Graham was targeted to be supposedly going to be targeted by Jacksonville. It's a neat area. He's a top 3-4 player in this draft. Give him to Jacksonville. The talk has been, and I said this last week, everybody's screaming at me about it's too high for the Raiders to take a running back, Ashton Jeanty. Yet we're talking about Jacksonville taking him at 5, 1 pick ahead. So it's amazing how you get screamed at for having a guy going there. It's too high for a running back at 6, but it's not too high at 5. So Jeanty, for a new head coach, new GM, helping out Trevor Lawrence. Remember the running back that they have, Etienne, was drafted by Urban Meyer's group, right? So at the end of the day, do you want to get that player, that centerpiece to help out Trevor Lawrence, who is not yet generational, not even close, but this running back would certainly help his cause.
So here's the thing. A couple things there to nitpick what he was saying. He goes, all the mock drafts, that's how he opened it. So that means that means you and your peers. It doesn't mean anything about what the NFL guys are saying. It means you and your peers. You, Field Yates's mock draft, Todd McShay's mock draft, and all these guys' mock drafts. It has nothing to do with what the guys are saying. And now the talks means him, McShay, all the guys who work for ESPN, Orlovsky,
Field Yates,
all these guys. It's all of that. And instead, it's not, we're here in Jacksonville's leaning this way. We're not hearing anything. And I think this is good. A little uncertainty does not hurt. Just flip it to the NBA really quick. Adrian Wojnarowski was a big culprit in telling you what draft pick was coming before it was announced. And it drove me crazy.
Woj bomb!
Schefter was the same way. These guys how about a little uncertainty for once and add to the level of intrigue? Now I'm into the draft. I wasn't into it all offseason because I didn't know what Jacksonville was doing, but good. I'll get into it when the draft actually comes. Now, I don't need to have the draft 6 days ahead of time.
As a Jag fan, can you stomach Jeanty at 5?
I wouldn't love it.
I can't do a running back.
There's too many good running backs in this class. There's too many good ones.
And rewind a couple of years ago, Bijan Robinson. He's a good player, but was he the number 7 pick in the draft? I don't know. I just don't like taking running backs top 10. Maybe shame on me for that.
Any top 10 team in the draft is not a good team. They're a middling to bad team unless they trade up. Mm-hmm. That's any team in the top 10. And no running back makes a bad team good. They make a good team great. That's what the running back does. They make a good team great. Line and the quarterback, lines on both sides, make a bad team good. And then every other piece makes a good team great. Jacksonville is not a good team waiting to be great.
Now I'm trying to get you boiled up here. Did you see Shador possibly to the Jags?
I don't know who said that, and I don't know what he is smoking. I don't know what he's eating. I don't know what he's experimenting with. But there is less. I would give any other team. I would say before Jackson.
And you mentioned the no trade clause for Trevor Lawrence.
They're not getting rid of him. They're not getting rid of him. Let's bottom line that. That is the dumbest thing. I don't know who said that. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because you guys have no idea what Jacksonville's doing. Credit to Jacksonville for doing that for once. We don't have to tell Schefter what we're thinking and what we're doing every 5 seconds.
And I still stand by what I said of there's a lot of misdirection this time of year. There's a lot of people telling guys like Schefter and company what they want to hear, and they're reporting it so things can maybe go a different direction.
Right.
That's a good smoke.
Thing. I'm for smoke.
I am too. I am too.
I'm more interested in the draft now.
I am with you. When I watch the draft, I have my phone on D&D. I'm not checking social media. Granted, I'm watching on YouTube TV as it is, so I'm 50 seconds behind everybody else on my 75-inch big screen TV you love so much. But I'm not trying to get the spoilers on the draft. And I know we're going to be at Travis Hunter's grandmother's draft party coming up on Thursday. Looking forward to that down at Boynton Beach. But even when I go home and watch the latter half of that first round, I will have my phone on D&D. Absolutely. I'm not trying to get everything spoiled on social media.
Yeah. The thing is, it's 10 minutes per pick, and you
get bored.
Nothing drives me more crazy than when the first overall pick in the draft takes the full 10 minutes. I know they do it for coverage and the commercial breaks and to maximize ratings. I know that's why. It still bothers me. Why is Tennessee going to go down to the 2-minute 12 mark to select Cam Ward when they've known for months that they're going to go in that direction.
And even if it's not Cam Ward, they probably know.
That drives me nuts. Why do we do that?
It's theater, Colin.
I know it's theater.
It's theater.
We don't need 7 guys on a panel telling us that Travis Hunter is good at football.
Hey,
we don't need that.
I want to say this. I know we've been very hard on him today. I love Mel Kiper. He's one of my favorite people. Honest, Kyle. Hearing him scream about a 3rd-round draft pick on day 2 and he's an encyclopedia on him, there's no one like Mel. There's nobody like Mel Kiper in the business. Would you agree with that at least?
What, a mock draft specialist?
Dude, it's not even a mock draft specialist. He can tell you 50 things about the guy who's going in the 7th round that's going to sniff 2 plays in the NFL.
I appreciate what he does for when Jacksonville makes their picks, and I can go to Mel Kiper's scouting report to see what the hell this
You're not. What I've learned from you.
This 5th rounder, let's see what he is.
You are not mock draft guy, Kyle. You hate mock drafts.
I don't. I'm looking forward to the team actually making the pick, not Field Yates making the team's pick for
You got to realize, man, I come from the School of Hard Knocks to Cleveland radio. Colin, they look at mock drafts 24/7. It's why I was hysterical. I would bring up mocks to Kyle to, let everybody in on what we do. Kyle, the pre-show meetings, Kyle, do you want to look at this mock? Mike, no mocks. No mocks.
It's the dumbest thing.
No mocks. You had to talk me down the mocks all year long.
There's nothing wrong with looking at a mock just to see where, in my opinion, only the beat writers the local beat writers.
Dude, you blew them up. Hang on, you blew the guy up at the Breakers at the owners' meetings.
I only want to do it just to see what positions they think. I don't care about the player. I care about the positions they think that there's going to be drafted 3rd round, 4th round. That's all I care about. I'm all right. He thinks that they're going to go defensive line in the 3rd round. I'll do 1 or 2 of those. I do not care who's going where, and I will watch the draft like a normal person and not have 1,100 top 500 players next to me trying to analyze what the next team is doing. I think this it's a dumb way to enjoy the draft. Am I wrong on this?
Christian, I am totally mock draft guy who gets hooked on every single thing. But
so here's the metaphor for you. Mike Rizzo, you are Michael Orr, who when he goes into Sandra Bullock's house and goes, never had one of these before. What? A bed. Because you're a Cleveland Browns fan, that's why you love the mock drafts. You're in this state of poverty where that is your only source of hope.
For 30 years.
For every other team in the NFL.
For 30 years.
Jacksonville had 2.
But you've experienced
2 number 1 overall picks since the turn of the decade. Let's keep that in mind.
But you've experienced actual hope. You drafted Trevor Lawrence. That is legitimate reason to be hopeful after the draft and seeing the quarterback play.
To Christian's point, all right, we called him Boy Wonder. I called him Sunshine at Clemson. He won a championship as a freshman.
Yeah, he was great.
He was one of the best college quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, he lost like 2 games in 8 years.
I got Baker. Fair play to Baker. He's a great quarterback now since he got out of Cleveland, naturally. But that's really it. I may feel that one.
It just makes sense that you're the mock draft guy coming from the Cleveland background.
Yes.
Almost maybe 28 other NFL organizations do not care. Fan bases do not care about mock drafts as much as Cleveland fans.
The Bears do. And then also where I did sports radio, the damn Bears. The Bears live and die with the mock drafts too, okay? They've been tortured by bad quarterback play forever. They have Caleb Williams.
You know what's funny is these guys will do the mock drafts and then they'll try to analyze them side by side with what actually happened, and they hit like a 40. They're like a baseball player. They hit it like a 330 clip, and they think they had a great draft. You guys did not have a great draft. You're shooting at the hip, as Mike says. I don't know. I don't get into it. I really don't think the mock drafts does anything for me. There have been no trades. There have been 8 different teams that are interested in Shedeur Sanders. We have no idea where Aaron Rodgers is going to be. There's 2 quarterbacks for 8 and 80 teams. There's no skeleton to go off.
So you don't want to play where does Mel Kiper have Shedeur Sanders going in mock 3.0?
You know what's funny is because he has a different spot in mock 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Mel, what changed? Other than he had picks with everybody. What, you and Field Yates had a conversation at the Seaport Studios? Field, do you think he's going to Pittsburgh? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. I got to do that. I don't know. I don't really get into it. I do not understand what these guys know. Are the GMs telling you, Shefty, I got to tell you what I'm thinking at number 6. Like, I have a hard time believing that. I do.
Outside of the misdirection, I agree with what you said, but GMs do tell Schefter and stuff to get information out there.
So, misinformation.
Not all the time, but sure.
A lot of the time.
More times than not this time of the year, misinformation.
We're popularizing misinformation. I have no idea.
But
Nobody has no idea.
So
let's celebrate that.
So you don't want to guess where Mel Kiper has Shedeur going in Mach 3.0? You don't have a thought, a guess?
Here's my prediction.
Christian, a guess?
I think if Sanders is apparently the guy who is suffering from annual person that drops tremendously in the draft syndrome.
He is.
And that's him. He's suffering from that. Despite nothing happening between now and the combine. He's suffering from that for whatever reason. And that's trends the whole thing. If I had to make a guess, a prediction, I'd say he'd go in the top 10. I would. Because I think teams reach, and whether you like him or not, I think somebody's going to be like, he's there, pull the trigger. And that's my prediction. And if it doesn't happen, you know what? I'll sleep at night. I'll sleep at night.
Jets and Saints. To your point, the teams, if he does slip past the top 5.
I have no idea what Jacksonville's going to do. I have no idea what any of these teams are going to do.
Well, you heard Mel. He's drafting John T. That new he's drafted John T.
The funniest is he goes, all the mock drafts had. Oh, you're the mock draft guy. What do you mean all the mock drafts? You're the mock draft guy, Mel. When he's talking to Evan Cohen, Mel, what do you think Jacksonville's going to do? Well, all the mock drafts had Mason Graham. All the conversations were Mason Graham. Isn't that your conversation that you started? Well, am I crazy? Does that seem a little like parabolic?
They call it's a select few of them.
Paradoxical is the word I'm thinking of.
And Mel, I love you, by the way. I know there's a lot of slander. I love you, Mel, but at the same time, yes.
I'm not knocking Mel. I just don't see it. I don't see it. What is there to celebrate? Well, how about we get excited on Thursday? What are we hypothesizing? Nobody knows.
All right. Well, outside of the speculations, who's the best player in this? Is it Travis Hunter? Is he the best player that you could possibly? Is it Abdul Carter?
I think that's situational on the team. But I would say,
where would you lean on that?
In terms of getting the most value out of a player, I think you get the most value out of Hunter. In terms of a team that has a good receiving core and good corners, I think Abdul Carter would give you more. If the Bears were picking there, I think the Bears would utilize Abdul Carter more than they'd utilize Travis Hunter. But if I was thinking of a team like Cleveland, who has Myles Garrett sitting there, I think they'd utilize a player like Travis Hunter more than they'd utilize Abdul Carter. It's situational, and I think that tells you that there's not a prestigious 1A prospect in this draft. And I think that's made it clear. And because of that, there's no skeleton that we could follow. There's no blueprint. There's no line. There's no yellow brick road to where these teams are heading. Nobody knows. The Giants are the third pick of the draft. Nobody has any idea what they're going to do.
No clue.
No idea.
Carter has been...
That's great.
Yeah.
They're going to get Carter. They might get Carter. They might trade back. They might trade up. Nobody knows. Jacksonville. Nobody knows what they're going to do. This is good. Patriots, I think most people are under the same impression that they're going to go lineman there.
Will Campbell.
But point being, the majority of that top 10, the top 15, in complete disarray. Good. We don't need to have the problem solved before we even begin.
To get your blood boiling even more, where does Aaron Rodgers fit in all of this?
Right. It's the most selfish.
Where does Aaron Rodgers fit?
The most selfish thing in the world that this guy has not made a decision on where he wants to play quarterback before a team has to make decisions on a draft capital. That is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, he wants to weigh his options. He's going to see who gets quarterbacks, and he's going to decide where he wants to go.
Wow, that you got some nerve doing that.
He also said he was doing with some personal stuff. Colin, do you buy that?
Do I buy? Sure, you could still make a decision. You're going on McAfee. How personal is it? That's my take. Let's be fair, Rodgers. Are you dealing with personal things, or are you going on McAfee?
Well, he wanted to go on to set the record straight. Look at me defending Aaron Rodgers for the second show in a row.
I don't know.
He wanted to set the record straight.
I am not mock draft guy.
You are not.
If you're going to go into a draft and you're going to try to, guess it right, sure, just for the fun of it, no problem. There's nothing wrong with that. And in years past, I've gotten into the whole fun of the mock drafts. I've gotten into it. But then you get to draft day and you realize that none of this was correct. It's like filling out a bracket in the NCAA tournament. We've had such surefire things, I feel like, at the top. But there's always the surprises. There's always a surprise. Nobody knew Atlanta was going to go get Penix.
So you're not tuned into 2.0, 3.0? No. I love how he calls them 2.0, 3.0.
What's changed, Mel? What has changed?
A lot. He's been hearing a lot.
The funniest
he's hearing a lot
is you make 2.0 after the pro days. That's the last we see of the prospects. They have private workouts here and there, but the last we see of the prospects is around when 2.0 comes out.
Yeah, and Stephen, to that point, Stephen A. said this morning on First Take, Sanders hasn't played a game. Shedeur Sanders, by the way, apologies, has not played a game since that bowl game. He's gone from being the second best prospect. He'll probably go in the top 5. Now he'll probably go in the top 10. Maybe he falls out of the first round, and he hasn't taken a snap.
It's happened in the flip side of thing. Anthony Richardson had the flip of that.
Right. So and he was the ultimate riser.
That happens back and forth. I think McCarthy was the same thing.
I think Jackson Dart's going to be that guy. Jackson Dart's going to be the guy who might go in the top 10 for a team that is absolutely desperate. But we looked at the teams that are desperate for a quarterback, Colin. It's the Jets. It's the Saints. And the Steelers.
One thing I do believe is
they're going to get Rodgers.
There's no world beaters. That's what I know. That's what I do know.
And the
there's no world beaters, and that makes it interesting.
And the team who needs the quarterback the most is at the number 1 pick, and they have their pick of the litter.
We don't know where Ashton Genty's going to go. Good. Looking forward to finding out on the ESPN coverage. Looking forward to that at Lambeau Field. That'll be a ton of fun. I'll get into that. I'll watch that.
How's that operation going to look up there, by the way?
I don't know. Hopefully,
have you been to Lambeau? You're a Wisconsin guy.
Bunch of times.
How do you think are they going to be able to pull that off?
I think so. Let's check the weather. That's the one.
Yeah,
wild card.
I mean, geez, if this is going to be 40 and rain,
right? So unless it's going to be terrible weather, which is totally possible.
It was 40. So Kyle, 2021 Cleveland, it was raining the whole time. I got poured on.
Right, that would be a problem. On Wednesday, it's supposed to be rainy, but like in the 60s and 70s. So a humid, hot, rainy day. All right, they'll sign up for that. They could deal with that. I don't know. Draft, are you into it? Do you get into mock drafts? Is it a little overblown where everything is going?
I'll show you 3.0 in the draft, Kyle. I'll show you Mel 3.0 in the break.
888-760-3776. I'm starting to think that these draft specialists don't know as much as we are being led to believe. 888-760-3776. Do you get into mock draft season? Do you buy it? Is it something that's a little put on? For the content side of things, let us know. Give me your thoughts. 888-760-3776. We roll on here. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Juan Soto, 15 years, $765 million. Shohei Ohtani, 10 years, $700 million. These are the most lucrative contracts in sports, and they are obviously within MLB. The CBA, the collective bargaining agreement within the MLB, is set to expire December 1st of 2026. MLB and its commissioner, Rob Manfred, are having discussions about a possible salary cap. Baseball has never had a salary cap. Could be something to keep an eye on. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
She ain't gon' tie me down while you on the road. Got it on the shirt, saw the hat, saw the clothes. What you want right now? What up right now? I think you need to close your mouth, cause you ain't gon' tie me down.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, streaming live on YouTube as well, and Facebook and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, right here on ESPN 106.3. Been a car accident, truck accident, had an accident of any kind. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're the type to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call to take back control of your life today. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Well, we're at a point now where we're hypothesizing on a bunch of nothing on the NFL. Instead of letting it happen, we're trying to decide what's going to happen going into it. And I know that's sports where, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I understand. But when it comes to teams drafting, when things change on a whim, the intrigue, the suspense, I think, is the good part.
It is. And I think the conversation is who's going to be that team that trades up? Who's going to be that desperate team?
And nobody's done it yet either. Right. So there's questions about whether it's going to happen or not, and that remains to be seen. Now, in terms of where things are that you don't know what's going to happen, but when you do find out, and then you can have some fun with it, because the intrigue and the suspense is the juice, is WrestleMania. And
let's go.
I don't get into it. You couldn't pay me. If it could be in my backyard, I wouldn't watch it. But Mike Rizzo apparently is now drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so I stayed the night in Boca last night at family with family, and my little cousin was there. And Christian, I need your help because he's 12 and he loves he was telling me everything, what was happening, whatever. Christian, I watched the ending of WrestleMania where, help me out, blonde girl lost her belt.
Wait, what? The ending of WrestleMania was
hang on. Blonde, but it was towards the back end. Okay. Blonde girl lost her belt, then it got into Cena and the American Nightmare.
Yes.
So I started watching when blonde girl lost her belt. My favorite part, and my brother was over too, and I totally agree with him.
Because the little cousin
because my cousin because we were watching NBA. I'm like, God, this game stinks, this and that. He goes, well, WrestleMania is on, and I was going to wait to watch it until, but I'll watch the back end of it. I'm like, my buddy Christian's into WrestleMania. Brian Rowitz, our content director, it was there. Dave Druda, our director of ops, they're huge into this. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. Christian, I got hooked last night. How about John Cena playing the bad guy? First off, I didn't know he was the baddie. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He's always been like the good guy.
Yeah, that's the running storyline. It's the first time John Cena's ever been a bad guy.
Yeah, so he's the baddie, and at the end of the...
so I'm going to save you a little bit. Heel. Not baddie. Heel.
The heel. Thank you. He's the heel, Colin. And at the end of the fight, am I allowed to spoil? Do you think people...
Yes, it was live on TV. If you haven't watched it yet, that's on you.
Okay. So he's the heel, meaning he's the bad guy. At the end of the fight, American Nightmare, who's the...
Cody Rhodes.
Who's the son of...
Dusty Rhodes.
And he has the belt, all right, the heavyweight belt. And John Cena, it's his last WrestleMania. They were called One Last Ride. There were signs and everyone was holding them up. He had a chance to end it. American Nightmare had a chance to end it. He had the belt because Cena grabbed the belt, went behind his back, and he was going to whack him with the belt. Instead, American Dream, and like Cena was like begging, please don't hit me with the belt. American Dream puts the belt away, turns around. John Cena kicks him in the you-know-what, kicks him in his you-know-what, the jewels, and then he pins him, and that's it. And Cena won the belt. And Travis Scott made an appearance. Travis Scott took out the referee. The referee missed a blatant call because he's on the ground rolling around. So, that was another big reason why John Cena won the belt, because Travis Scott came in and took out the referee.
So
It was crazy.
John
Honestly.
Cena's done, though.
No, John Cena
he's
has the
champ.
belt. He's the new champ.
So he has to continue.
Well, yeah, he won the belt.
Yeah, he won the
We're going to
belt.
see what happens
But
tonight. Monday Night Raw will tell you where the story's going to go.
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah. The one last ride, it's because it's his last WrestleMania. But he's obviously still in this season, and trust me, I'm way out of, as my cousin said, Mike, you're out of your league. I'm way out of my league here. But I had a lot of fun watching it. I got to say. And the best part, my favorite part that I'm still laughing about is Stone Cold Steve Austin driving in drunk on an ATV and ramming into the side of a thing, and some poor girl fell, and then he got onto the ring and started doing it's his staple of chugging and spraying beer everywhere.
So that was not scripted. A lot of what you see on TV with wrestling is scripted. That was not. Stone Cold comes in on an ATV. That's one of his signature things to do. He loves his Stone Cold Ranch. He loves his four-wheelers. And he's doing donuts around the ring. And there's not much space there because you have the stairs to get into the ring. You have the barricades. They're packing a lot of people into that Vegas arena where the Raiders play.
60,000, Kyle. Not a seat to be had.
Tries to peel
I
out.
saw where Brian was sitting, and he was sitting in Reno.
Not a seat.
Not
a seat.
That's the press.
Correct. But there was not a
box,
but to Christian's point, allegedly, only in WrestleMania you could find allegedly Stone Cold driving around an ATV drunk, drinking beers on stage, and crashing said ATV into a wall.
Yeah, they had to have like the top dog, Nick Khan, who like runs this whole show for real, came down to the front row and checked on the lady who was on that barricade who got hit, and she didn't look happy. So she might be kind of set for life, lawsuit type action. We're still waiting for the
There's
details.
definitely a clause in the tickets that's saying like, hey, like crossfire happens.
Yeah, wrestlers do, but they better make sure that Stone Cold wasn't actually drinking before, because he drunk after. He drank the beers after he crashed. We never saw him intoxicated beforehand.
Alleged. That's why Christian, I'm bad with that stuff sometimes. Allegedly driving the ATV truck.
You sign up for blood, sweat, and tears to hit you in your front row. You're in the splash zone, whatever. Sometimes the wrestlers do on the crowd. You don't sign up to get hit by a four-wheeler.
That too. And then Christian, something my brother and I also found hysterical. When they tap out, the whole crowd, they know it's coming, but still.
Kick out.
Oh, yeah, sorry. When they kick out, the whole crowd.
Hold on. Pause. I don't need this. I don't need what Christian's doing. I don't need
he does. I want it. I'm a new contest.
What's tapping out?
Tapping out is giving up. Kicking out is meaning you're not giving up. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, you pin
I'm
him.
sorry.
I don't know.
Very important.
But my brother looks at me. My brother looks at me and he goes, Mike, the fact that the crowd flips out every single time they kick out, they can't believe it. Like how they can't believe it.
Which is why I think it's dumb. How are you guys surprised? The match started 3 minutes ago.
Dude, it was great.
And the guy's getting pinned. You think he's going to stay down? No.
Yeah, that is you got to kind of let yourself enjoy it.
It was
suspend
fun.
Your belief.
Right. You got to get into the fix part,
Right,
and I was last night.
Do you think that Tom Cruise is going to die in Mission Impossible 1? No, probably not, because there's been 10 movies made.
You can't see me, dude. You can't see me. John Cena was all over it last night. Fair play to that guy. He was a heck of a heel.
I understand his performance. I understand that. I'm going to rein in the parade a little bit. I do not take the conversation seriously that this is sport. Seriously.
Get into the ring.
Sports entertainment.
Yeah, but entertainment means sports is also competition. This is theater.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is theater.
Tremendous theater.
Live, one chance to get it right.
So you got into this now.
Oh, I got into it. I can't wait to watch Raw tonight. I can't wait.
I don't know.
And John Cena, my buddy Bruce, who's really into this, he's really happy. Bruce, he just texted me. He goes, Riz, Cena confirmed on Raw tonight.
Booked on McAfee, too.
Well, Cena's a star. There's nothing wrong with Cena.
The thing is, what WrestleMania is to get guys like Rizzo involved who are kind of just dipping their toe in it and they get drawn in. For the hardcore wrestling fan, WWE leaves much to be desired. It's for the mainstream normies.
So this is what I don't need. This is
Yeah,
whatever
I mean,
that
it's true.
was.
Yeah, but hang on. Christian
the
has
high society in a wrestling. Come on.
Christian has every right.
Get off the horse.
Hang on. Christian has every right to gatekeep. He does. He's been watching it for years.
Travis Scott, does
You
he
don't
get
have any
involved?
right. You don't have any right to gatekeep. You don't have any right to gatekeep the NFL.
I guess.
You have no right to gatekeep.
So, Christian, what'd you make of Travis Scott last night? Did you like that?
It was the stupidest thing ever.
You didn't like that shtick?
The only reason Travis Scott should have been there is if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson eventually showed up, and he never did.
So, Kyle, my cousin also told me It's Cena, Travis Scott, and The Rock all in cahoots with Cena and his last ride for WWE.
You know what I don't like about the WWE?
What's that?
They're overly reliant on the people from 20 years ago to maintain excitement.
Well, the Mysterio kid won a belt last night.
And the Mysterio kid, they fought over his custody in 2003 or whatever it was.
Epic.
They still use the Rey Mysterio guy. And I remember this because when I was a kid. I remember this from when WWE, in 2010. They still use Randy Orton. They still use John Cena. They still use Paul Heyman. I remember him from 20 years ago. They still use him. Cody Rhodes has been there forever. Triple H has been there forever. That's true.
But he's not there anymore.
He's not wrestling anymore.
I saw they got The Rock back. The Rock does not need the
Well, yeah, I told you, did you, Kyle?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But the point is, why are they so reliant on the old guys? Where are the new guys?
Well, because it gets crowd reaction. That's kind of the meter. You have two things to meter. It is crowd reaction and money made. And WWE's really good at the money made. And last night, there's a little bit more to be desired on crowd reaction because of a couple of results, namely the main event. The main event was really bad.
Was it? The Cena thing.
Yeah.
So
what is bad?
Wrestling fans did not like the main event.
Is that right?
They hated it.
Explain to me. It's scripted. What is bad? Where the direction they took with it with the storyline?
Yeah.
That's the bad part. Not the actual quality of the entertainment, the action that we're watching. It's the story, the direction. So the wrestling fans are more, I'm trying to learn here. The wrestling fan is more concerned about where the storyline goes than the actual quality of the back and forth action in the ring.
It's really a core principle of it all is what type of wrestling fan are you? Do you care about the sport of it and the actual action, or do you care more so about the storyline?
And what are you?
I'm more in the action, but I enjoy the story. So that's why I like the other company that gets involved.
So Dave Drude, our director of ops here, he's like Christian. He follows this a lot. I texted him and Brian last night. And Christian, I apologize, forgot to throw you in this bunch.
Okay.
I said Cena. I said
he was waiting for it all night.
I said Cena with the cheap shot. You can't win a belt like that. Dave, our director of ops, goes, "Who is the commissioner of this sham league? Unchecked cheating. Cena should be ashamed."
Yeah.
That's the average reaction I kind of liked it. The bad guy won. The bad guy got his way. Travis Scott took out the ref. How about that? Travis Scott helping out Kyle with the belt. He was a big part of the belt.
I don't understand. Listen, for
what mayhem is going to happen on Raw tonight?
Everybody's got their thing. No problem. I do not. I have a hard time understanding how people get into this.
I'm putting my jorts on tonight for Cena. I'm playing into the bad guy, the heel.
I have a hard time seeing how people get into it.
The heel, Christian.
Again, it's turning on a movie and realizing
it's
that
not a movie.
What's happening in Star Wars isn't actually happening, and those are actors, and that's a green screen.
I understand, but it masquerades as a sport.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Does it, Christian?
Yes, it does.
Every day we get further from that. You have Triple H, who runs the creative there now, is talking about behind the scenes. And there's a whole documentary as to why Cody Rhodes main evented WrestleMania last year. And it's not suspending belief in saying because he's the best at his craft and he earned it and he pinned this guy. No, he's saying why the fans wanted him and why they put him over. They made him win the belt. They're kind of pulling back the curtain, and the curtain almost doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
The conversation, it's in sports arenas. It's live and in-person entertainment.
No one leaves.
It's talked. Nobody leaves. Give you that, wrestling fans. Nobody leaves. I don't understand. Even at the World Series, people beat traffic. I do not understand how nobody leaves.
Well, again, it's the fight game, so the best is always last.
Right.
That's why.
But it's talked about like a sport. It's debated like a sport. The way Mike Rizzo just broke it down, like it was like Game 3 of the NBA Eastern,
it was awesome.
Eastern Conference Finals.
I couldn't believe when he broke out of that
Christian
kick.
says it's a movie.
Oh.
So which is it? Are we going to the theater or like that's my listen? I'm trying to understand this, but let's go to the phone lines here. 888-760-3776. Jeff in Palm Beach Gardens joining Russo and Rizzo. Jeff, hello. What's on your mind? What do you got for us?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, it's all about storyline. I mean, these guys, I consider them athletes. I mean, they put their bodies on the line. You see a lot of them get hurt. But the storylines this year, like, for instance, the Jey Uso guy, he fought Guy Gunther. You knew he was going to win because of how popular he is and the fact that he's already lost 3 times to this guy. You knew he was going to win. But with Cena, I honestly didn't think Cena was going to win because where does it go now? If the guy's going to retire at the end of the year. I mean, you gave Dustin Rhodes the belt after last WrestleMania because, he had to finish his story because he came back to the WWE after leaving AEW. Now what happens there? That part made no sense to me. Some of the matches weren't impressive. Like Jey Uso's match, they go nuts. That match was great, but Cena and Rhodes, it was stale. Like there wasn't a lot of flying, like Rey Mysterio when he fights, he puts on a good show because the guy's flying all over the ring. I don't know.
So Jeff is back and forth there. He's saying that the show was bad, but he doesn't understand why this guy won. Talking like it's a storyline, like it's a TV show. Why did they do this? And then he talks about, this was not as... It's a fascinating dynamic. Well, this didn't have this and that. This wasn't as entertaining. Therefore, it wasn't good. So there was a fascinating, I guess, analysis there from Jeff.
Christian, you're not a Cena guy right now either.
Oh, no, I like Cena,
okay.
And he should have won. It just wasn't a good match, and the story didn't make sense as to how he got there.
You didn't like how he begged for his life, basically, and then kicked him in the you-know-what and made him tap out?
The way Cody Rhodes, who's held this belt for an entire year, went out, it was weak, and it was odd, and Cena's finisher looked really weak. He hit him with it 5 times. He kicked out on it every single time. There's a lot of reasons, and we can get really into the weeds in it. It might be the wrong channel for that, so I won't get into it.
Wrong hosts.
You're asking. Listen, I'm
asking about the dynamic of wrestling. I'm fascinated on.
But Kyle, you're not watching Raw with me tonight?
No, I will never watch Raw. I will never watch that because it masquerades as a sport. People talk about it like it's a sport, and to me, it is theater.
I'm tuning into the theater. All right, I'm fully bought in. I don't care that it's fixed. I know it's fixed. And I got to see how Cena acts. Cena's going to show up tonight in his jorts saying, "You can't see me with the belt."
For the 1100th week in a row.
And everyone is going to be going, boo!
They got the music, and they do the same thing, and it's great. I'm shocked that people did not assume. If this is John Cena's last run, if it really is, and
it's his last hoorah.
Color me shocked that he didn't win. I mean, that he won the main event at WrestleMania.
At
the main wrestling
hang
event.
on, Colin.
Color me shocked. I didn't see that one coming.
Hold on.
Really? Like,
you're not shocked he won at WrestleMania in Las Vegas live at Allegiant Stadium? Hell yeah, baby. I'm all in on it, brother.
Think about how bad the most recent Super Bowl was. Horrible. Like,
I'm
not turn that game off.
I'm not listening to you compare the WWE.
I mean, it's that company's Super Bowl.
So is it a movie or is it comparatively to a sport? Which is it?
It is a live television event.
Right. A scripted television event.
Correct.
Yes.
The competition incites intrigue, incites suspense. I don't feel the suspense when it's scripted.
Well, you don't get to read the script. The script is not given to you.
It's like reading a book.
I understand.
Watching a movie.
But it's masqueraded as competition. It's masqueraded as you are going head-to-head against somebody.
It's the plot device, yeah.
I understand. So you can't compare it to the NFL because it's not the NFL.
Yes, it is, because everyone's watching this live as it's happening, and they only have one chance to get it right. That's why it's comparable.
So it's comparable in the sense that it's a sport?
Comparable to the sense that it's live TV. And it's
anything's live TV.
Athletes that are doing things that we cannot do.
Correct. Jumping off of.
I agree the guys are athletic and athletes. Sure. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But the actual fabrication of the sport, the construct of the sport, is not comparable to real, competitive, work harder than the other guy athletics. And I'm not listening to this.
Where can you watch?
That is the dumbest thing ever. No way.
Where can you watch, allegedly?
Just because what? There's suspense? There's suspense in Friends when they're recording it live at the NBC studios. Like, it's not the same. One is scripted, one is set ahead of time, and the athletes, it doesn't matter. It matters how much the crowd likes them.
Colin.
Comparatively to where they go. It's not matter how hard they work or how good they are. It's about how much the crowd likes them, and that determines where they go. That's fine. There are different strokes for different folks. 100%. It cannot be compared to competitive sports. Can't be.
I'm not comparing it.
Christian just did.
Yes, because you can determine how good the Super Bowl was. Like, all right, writing the script like they talk about and joke about for the NFL season, you can write the script for how the biggest event of the year is going to go.
So you're saying everything should be scripted to guarantee an entertaining product in comparison to an actual intrigue and it being a blowout.
Never said you should watch one or the other.
That's what you're alluding to.
I'm saying the reason why it works and it has an audience and why there's a lot of appeal to it is
because there's a guaranteed suspense.
You can you got to trust the people that write the script.
Right, but there's a guaranteed sense of drama.
Yeah.
And sports don't have that all the time. Okay, but sports generally is dramatic because you actually don't know. The guys playing don't know what's going to happen. That's why it is sports. You don't, as a child growing up, you do not script together a wrestling show and call it sports. You compete against other people. This is theater. This is a play for the fans. Great. I'm not raining on any parade. I'm just explaining.
You spent 20 minutes raining on this parade.
Yeah, you did. Honestly,
you
really did. I was so pumped to tell Christian how happy I was watching all the action last night.
I had legitimate intrigue into
shot down.
What makes people tick about it, and then Christian started bringing up the NFL. No, that's not fair.
Yeah, shared experience. You're all enjoying it at the same time.
Okay.
Right, and compared to a movie, which is you watch it when you watch it.
So you can compare it to
I'm
a
telling
TV show.
you how you're getting different aspects from different entertainment that all mold into pro wrestling.
But it's scripted.
Yeah, it's one of the aspects, yes.
Hey, I'm not kidding when I said there wasn't a seat to be had in that place.
I'm sure.
But Colin,
they have a fan base.
Colin,
there was a traveling loyal fan base. There was
I saw
no doubt about
a
that.
grown woman, similar to a Taylor Swift concert in this sense. I saw a grown woman. They call her the man. Christian, help me out.
Becky Lynch.
She won the belt. Okay, she won the belt from the hot blonde that I'm getting behind. She walked out, and I saw a grown woman, had to be north of 45, bawling her eyes out because her favorite wrestler is coming on out. I started dying laughing. Kyle, they love it, and honestly, I'm here for it. I'm for it now. I can't wait to watch Raw tonight. My buddy Brucey, Christian, and I wanted to see how reliable this is. He says, Mike, we get Cena. We should probably see Seth Rollins, possibly Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. It'll be rocking.
Yeah, they kind of emptied the clip on the Raw after WrestleMania normally. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good show today.
Kyle, you got to tune in, bro.
I'm not going to tune in because it's not interesting.
Dude, I'm going.
That's subjective.
I'm going Cleveland,
There's
Indiana.
a reason that they have to use the guys from 25 years ago in order to make it intriguing today.
I'm going.
You just said it wasn't interesting.
Well, I know.
That's against everything you just said about not raining on the parade.
Oh, I understand. But why are people so into the fact that the guys from 25 years ago are back into it? Why did the WWE do that?
Kyle, don't yell at me. Hang on, guys.
Why did the WWE do that? Because they've had trouble putting together new stars.
Colin, don't yell at me. Don't yell at me for enjoying Stone Cold allegedly driving an ATV drunk and doing
90s.
donuts. Okay,
Don't
yell at me. Don't yell at me for don't yell at me for being excited to see that guy allegedly be on an ATV driving drunk and drinking beers in the ring. Don't yell at me.
I'm pretty sure he got started when Nixon was in office.
See, this is how these things go. When I find myself on the same side of an argument with Mike Rizzo, he just tanks the argument, and I got nothing else to say.
Well, he said
you're doing everything that he's arguing about.
I don't care. It was fun.
Great. We got to take a time
We got to hear from Zaz on this too. So we're
going to do that later. We'll do that later. 5:20. Zaz is joining us. He's not joining us now. All right, he's joining us at 5:20.
Hey, you got me all fired up now, man.
I don't know. I don't understand the blind allegiance. Whatever. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. NBA playoff action, NHL playoff action. Got to break down. Knicks got game 2 tonight on a Monday night against the Detroit Pistons. 21-0 run when they were down 8 with 9 minutes to go in order to close out the first one at the Garden. Detroit showed their inexperience a little bit, collapsed in a big spot. The Lakers, another surprise of the weekend. They lost to the T-Wolves in dramatic fashion. The Lakers don't necessarily have the interior defense to keep up with what Minnesota has to offer. We got to do that. We got to do a little 5 at 5. We got to break down a whole bunch of things. The second hour of Russo and Rizzo is coming up right here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that wants to learn more about careers with Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Mansour's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Mansour's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Good people. Steele Dorsey.
May the force be with you.
Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is hosting Star Wars Night on Saturday, April 26th at 6 p.m. Come see the Jupiter Hammerheads and Palm Beach Cardinals face off in a galaxy not too far away. Take pictures with your favorite movie characters and enjoy the fireworks after the game. To purchase tickets and to find out more information, stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care.
Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sportsbook. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Second hour, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program right here on Russo and Rizzo, live from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, a Monday, April the 21st edition, 2025. You missed any of the show today, you want to listen back, go to Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. We got Jonathan Zazo coming up. We're going to do a little temperature check a little later on. And we got a little 5 and 5 action right here with Christian Cat. Christian Cat, our producer behind the glass in the City Play Studios. Christian, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. I'm trying to figure out how to format this text to my girlfriend because WrestleMania this weekend, 2-night event. A lot of television hogging that I've been doing, especially when I want to watch the golf and I want to watch the basketball. But Monday Night Raw is tonight, too. So we're talking about 3 consecutive days of putting stuff on TV that she does not want to watch.
She's not into the wrestling.
Not WWE. She likes AEW.
Did you watch the Justin Thomas playoff yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, so you did watch that. Okay.
She likes golf, though, so that's unfair. She likes golf. She watched golf. She loves the golf. So, it's the basketball and WWE she cannot.
So you watched it. That was in Hilton.
Let me pry.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Let me pry. Why AEW and not WWE?
It's more about the sport of the craft and more action, yeah.
Okay.
5 and 5, presented by Flagler Credit Union. In a second, first, let me tell you to go start your day off with a victory over at F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Head over to the locations in Palm Beach Gardens and Wellington as well. F45, you get your first 3 classes for just $30. If you're looking to train for something like High Rocks, I know High Rocks was down in Miami with a bunch of buddies at F45, including a couple teammates, believe it or not. F45, more the functional side of working out. 45 minutes, high-intensity interval training. They never the same workout twice. 2 coaches on site. And a bunch of like-minded fitness individuals in there trying to just get a sweat on and start their day off with a win. You could also go to the afternoons as well. You could catch me there in the mornings a couple times a week, having a great time, music loud, and really feeling good about the rest of your day when you started out over at F45. Find a studio near you or check out their Instagram, F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Christian Cat, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. Time for us to do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All ass, no breaks.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union. Proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
The Miami Heat, they got blown out in Game 1 of their first-round matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a 21-point win for Cleveland. It was like inside single digits in the second half for a little bit. Do you have any hope for Miami in this series?
To lead off with that this game was not a blowout. This game was a 7-point game with 7.5 minutes to go. This game exploded into a blowout. But I actually thought my takeaway from this was, Cleveland's good. Cleveland got Much needed contributions out of some role players, Ty Jerome specifically. But Miami doesn't go away. It's the similar Miami that we're kind of used to. They don't necessarily get the timely stops or have the timely possessions, stacking possessions to really make a run. But they flirted with the Cavs the whole game. They were well within that game for the majority. They didn't ever lead, but I was actually quite impressed with how Miami competed in that spot. That's a tricky game to play with Cleveland, who's going to try to come out guns blazing after all that time off. Yeah, they blew it open. Miami's in a lot of trouble. It doesn't seem like they have the firepower, but you remember that Miami's a very good postseason team. I think this team will win a game or two in this series.
I'm a Cav homer. Let's take that into consideration.
That's why you thought it was a blowout?
I did. I mean, 21 points. Yeah, Darius Garland doing chef's kisses at the end of the game. But I'm kind of with Colin on this, Christian. I can't lie. I was a little worried there for a little bit, especially early on in the first half when Miami went on that run before halftime. Second half comes by.
Clutch. They won't cut it down to like 7, I think.
Correct. Second half, Kyle, they won't go away. The difference, though, and Heat fans might be angry with me on this, but it's the same theme I had with this team heading into the playoffs. The difference is the Cavaliers have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. There's no player like that on Miami. If Miami had one, I could argue if Miami had Jimmy Butler on this team, the Cavs would be in some serious trouble here. I'm dead serious. With how well Jimmy played with Golden State last night, which we'll get to in a little bit, I mean, Cavs would be in trouble, I think, if Jimmy was on this roster. Problem is, not on the roster.
Yeah, Tyler Hero had like one basket out of the final 24 minutes of the game. He had like a scoreless streak of like 16, 17 minutes. He scored at the 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and then finally scored again with about 5 minutes to go.
There's only so much Davion Mitchell and Bam Adebayo can do, and I am impressed with Davion Mitchell.
Yeah,
I really am. And he might not have gotten the best out of himself in Sacramento with the current situation.
Yeah.
I think that could be a solid player for the Heat.
Perfect Miami player.
Correct.
Perfect Miami player.
They still, but my big takeaway, sorry to go the long roundabout to it, they don't have players like Mitchell and Garland. That's why the Cavs are going to win this series in 5.
Timely stops and a couple bad turnovers, especially trying to get the ball to Adebayo. They just didn't have timely possessions. Yeah, that probably is a slow the game down. We need a basket here. Go get us one. They needed somebody like that, Jimmy Butler, but they traded him, and for good reason. But for what I could say, that team showed some guts. They're a good postseason team. They're well coached. I can't complain too much about what I saw from Miami yesterday. Let's move on.
Number 2.
The Lakers, they did get blown out on their home court in Game 1 to the 7th-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, you know he likes to talk that talk. Here's what he had to say after the win for Minnesota.
A lot of national media picked the Wolves to be the loser in this first-round series, and obviously y'all have a lot of belief in yourselves, but what message would you have to fans that are kind of seeing everyone picking the Lakers now and everything like that?
No message, man. They still got the Lakers. The Lakers supposed to win. That's just how it's supposed to go. We're not supposed to be here, so we're just going to compete to the best of our ability.
Are we really in danger of losing LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers in round 1?
Yeah, Lakers are in some trouble there. Timberwolves, it's a good postseason team. They're well coached. They're good defensively. They can turn it up at the right moment. They have good interior defense. More importantly, the Lakers do not have good interior defense. It's a bunch of, point forwards trying to make it work. I don't know if they have the depth to keep up with Minnesota here. Minnesota's got a lot of guys who can make shots. Now, they shot very well from 3. It's not going to happen every game. But Minnesota's going to be a very dangerous out because they're good in the postseason. They're not necessarily afraid of the Lakers. If they beat Denver last year, they're not afraid of the Lakers. So that's why I would say the Lakers, off of matchup and also off a little bit of momentum, they're in a lot of trouble here. Losing on court.
I've been down on the T-Wolves all year after they got rid of Cat, but Anthony Edwards is a heck of a player. And I don't think Jaden McDaniels is going to go 11-13 with 25 points in Game 2. I think Game 2 is going to be a lot closer. But yes, absolutely, we are at risk in seeing this Laker team get bounced. They don't have depth. Like, if I'm going to sit here and say, the Phoenix Suns, they were constructed poorly, this and that and whatever, the Lakers outside of Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves are a whole lot of nobody. Let's call that for what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. Hachimura, Hayes, Finney Smith, Vanderbilt, spare me on all that. They need to do some retooling. We got to ask the question at our pre-show meeting. Would this be a failure if the Lakers lose first round? Absolutely. If the Lakers do not get out of the first round, I think this season is absolutely a failure. And I know I've been on this show saying there isn't pressure on the Lakers to win the whole thing this year because I truly think with Luka being there, no one expected that. I think that's correct. But if they lose first round to a 7th seed, yes. And the Timberwolves just might actually do it with Anthony Edwards and their deep roster.
I mean, look at it. If you're looking at the other teams, the Nuggets have their own plethora of issues, but they got the number one player in the entire world. The T-Wolves, that's a team. That's a team. The Lakers, I don't know if that's a team. The Clippers, that's a team. They got guys who play roles. That's a good team. Thunder, team. A lot of guys, deep. A couple different options. Do a lot of different things. Houston's an experience show. They couldn't throw the ball in the ocean in
My
that
God,
second half.
Jalen Green like 3 of 17.
It's a team. They got a lot of guys, and the Warriors sort of in the same float as what the Lakers are. But I mean, the Lakers they don't have. They need interior defense. They're gonna have to use LeBron at the 5. I mean, what's the plan here? They got an uphill battle to climb to get out of this series. That's my takeaway early on. And yes, it is a complete failure if they lose. I don't care if it's a first-year head coach. I don't care if they acquire Doncic at the deadline. If you're a team and you got 2 top 7 players currently playing on the same team and you can't get out of the first round, we're calling fire. We're calling fire. Number 3.
Number 3.
A fun one between the Nuggets and Clippers in Game 1. Russell Westbrook, how about his career turning him around a little bit in the twilight? Is this series the most likely to go 7 games?
Yeah, I would say that series is going to go 7. I know Milwaukee got killed. I could totally see that going 7. I don't know where I feel right now in the Knicks. I actually think the Rockets are gonna be able to go 7 there. I think there's going to be 2 or 3 7-game series in this postseason, but that Clipper series is by far going to be the best one. That Clipper-Nugget game was great basketball through and through. And one thing I'll say, I've never been the biggest fan of him throughout his career, but I think he's reinvented himself in some degree, is James Harden. Nobody dictates a game like Harden does. Yep. Harden was outstanding in that game. They fell apart towards the end, a couple bad turnovers, you live and die by Russell Westbrook, the whole thing. But in terms of dictating the pace of a game, understanding that, all right, I'm going to control the flow, the speed up, slow down, the whole thing, it's not quite. It is Harden. He is so good. He's better than anybody else in the league at that. At dictating the flow of the game. Him and Jokic. Unbelievable. And they still lost. And I give the Nuggets credit. They tightened up defensively, and they got a lot of defensive problems. They were targeting Jokic, similar to how they were targeting Luka. They went right after Luka on defense, and they went out right after Jokic, the Clippers did. They're going to have to figure that out. You need more effort out of them if you're going to get out of these series. And even if Denver won that first game. Great game.
Sign me up for overtime in an instant classic. My problem with the NBA playoffs in years past, it's like you take turns blowing each other out, right? One team is going to blow you out by 20. Then the next game you go home for 2 games and it's 2-2, 20-point victories. I want to see good games. I want to see good games. I think we're going to get that damn near every single game with the Clippers and the Nuggets. So yes, I think this is going to be the only first-round matchup that's going to go 7. And I can't believe this. I know this was the last story, Colin. I was hoping that the Lakers and T-Wolves could go 7. The more I think about it, the more I think the Lakers are in trouble. So with that said, I'm going to go with this one as the only 7-game series in the first round. I think that series
is going to go back and forth a little bit.
I hope it does. I mean,
they made some heroics, though. They're not as well built of a team.
And the problem is the Lakers got blown out at home. That was on the road for the Timberwolves. We haven't even gotten to Minnesota yet. Yeah. So that's why I'm a little worried.
That's why that's why tonight's game is interesting between the Clippers and the Nuggets. The goal is just to steal one. You lose the first game, big deal.
Right, and that's
why you got to steal one. That's why I'm not nervous about the Bucks.
We've been watching NBA playoffs enough. We know a series doesn't start until a road team wins, and that's why I think the Lakers could be in some trouble. And gosh, Kyle, not to keep harping on it, but the lack of depth on the Lakers, neither here nor there.
Need size. Number
4.
Spent the first couple of topics talking about teams that are in the playoffs right now. How about to see what's not in the playoffs right now? Because the story just won't die. General manager of the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison, had his feet held to the fire by the media today, and here's what he had to say regarding the popularity of Luka Doncic, who he, of course, shipped out of town.
Did the anger and outrage from the fan base, has that exceeded what you were kind of planning for?
Yeah, good question. I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level.
Didn't quite know the level of popularity for Luka Doncic and how much he meant to the Dallas Mavericks fan base. Is there any recourse for Nico Harrison from here on out to save his job and maybe turn this thing around in terms of the fan base not turning their backs on the team? What is he to do next?
I mean, what are we doing here? This guy needs to get media trained. He needs to go to a media boot camp. This guy cannot answer a single question right. I do not understand how he thinks that a guy who was going to be eligible for a Supermax contract was not beloved by the fans, or at least not to the level that he was expecting. You think everybody was going to welcome in Anthony Davis with open arms after shipping him off? This guy needs to get media trained. Oh, my God. And it's being set up to be such a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And the owners are going to ship him out of town, and we're never going to hear from this guy again.
Right. And Kyle, that's my only thing on this. This is a lamb for slaughter. This is an ownership group trying to not take accountability for a bad move. I understand when we look back at this, it's Nico Harrison is the one who traded him. It's fire Nico chance, not fire the owners. You can't fire the owners anyway. But I still personally, in my opinion, I don't know anything, whatever. In my personal opinion, I think ownership wanted to move on. Harrison's the fall guy, and this is the situation. What I read today, not from a very reliable source, it was that the
grain of salt.
It was that, yeah, so take it with a grain of salt. It was, now people think it's a reliable source. I'm not going to throw it under the bus. But regardless, the ownership group came out and said they're mad at Nico because Nico didn't tell them the backlash that the fans were going to have after trading Luka Doncic.
Are these guys delusional?
Are you kidding me?
Are these guys delusional?
That's what I mean. Are you freaking kidding me? I can't take anything that comes out of that organization serious right now. And this is a prime example of a lamb for slaughter. A lamb for slaughter, Nico Harrison. I kind of feel bad for the guy.
I almost do as well.
I feel bad for the guy.
I almost do as well.
So the owner of a restaurant is angry at the chef because the owner told the chef, change the menu.
Yeah.
And now no one goes to the restaurant anymore. And the owner is mad at the chef because the chef did not tell the owner, hey, people like this roast beef sub that we make.
Right.
All right.
Right. It's ridiculous. Like I said, Kyle, and another thing here, I literally feel bad for him. I do. I feel bad for him at this point.
At what point, this is just pure ignorance. That's what that is. That's enough of Nico Harrison. Let's move on.
Number 5.
We'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, right. We'll see in the next media availability he has.
The Knicks and Pistons and the Clippers versus Nuggets. Those game 2s are tonight. Talking about Knicks versus Pistons. Can the Knicks carry over that momentum? They just barn rushed their Saturday matchup in game 1 versus the Nuggets. Do the Knicks have what it takes to keep the momentum going into game 2 and beat the Pistons again?
Here's what...
21-0 run. Yeah,
here's the
big momentum.
I'm trying to gauge the Knicks in terms of a bit of a macro feel. My perspective is, where do the Knicks need to get to in order to protect what they have? And what I mean by that is, what do they need to do in this playoffs to protect that roster and to protect that coaching staff completely? Because there is a lot of options on the alternative sides, especially on the coaching staff and definitely within the players. You got a lot of money tied up in a lot of different sides here. Maneuverability is probably possible. You have assets. At what point do they need to get in order to, I guess, move on and try this again? I think is remains to be seen. But I got to give the Knicks credit. They showed a little guts. They adjusted well. They used Karl Anthony Towns as a 4 instead of a 5, which is huge because that's where he was great in Minnesota. That 2-big lineup gave Detroit a lot of problems. I'm okay with this. So I'm actually high on the Knicks, believe it or not, even though I'm anti-Thibodeau. I'm high on the Knicks at the moment.
I never bought into the whole Pistons beating the Knicks in this series. I never did. Because the Pistons don't have playoff experience. The Knicks do. The Knicks went deep in the playoffs. you could argue, for the last 2 seasons. Did they go to an NBA championship? No. But they know how to maneuver in these playoff series. And I thought the 21-0 run that the Knicks went on versus the Pistons was totally apropos for the time. The Pistons, who, I know Tobias Harris, Collin has playoff experience, Tim Hardaway and company, but a lot of these guys, Madison Square Garden, bright lights for the first time. I was not shocked to see this be 21-0 run, or rather see the Knicks go on a 21-0 run and wrap things up in the fourth quarter. I didn't think this was necessarily a good game, and maybe I am in the wrong on that, Kyle. I thought this was more of a blowout more than anything, and once the Knicks finally got a foothold on it with about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the game was over. I think you're going to see more of the same. I think the Knicks will probably win in a gentleman's sweep. I think Detroit will probably take one in Detroit, and to be honest, I hope they take one in Detroit because Collin alluded to me in our pre-show meeting. Detroit's lost like their last 15 playoff games, so I hope Detroit's able to steal one. But I still see this as a gentleman's sweep from the start.
I'm surprised. That was a very good game. I'm surprised you weren't high on it. But I hope the Pistons, their goal is not to win game one. It's to win one of the first 2 games. Now, a lot of pressure. Mike wants to talk about, when did the games, certain trading off, blowing each other out. Game 5's important, and the first homestand is important in terms of deciding who has the home court the rest of the postseason. We got to talk to Jonathan Zazzo on the flip side of things at the Zazzo Show 2.0. Get his thoughts on just about everything that is going on right now. Stick around for it. That was the 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. We take a time out here, right here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3. As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com, to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Breaking news from Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. No tariffs on all new Kias. Put your tax refund to work today. That's right. While others talk tariffs, Greenway Kia gives you unbeatable deals. Tariff-free. Turn your tax refund into your dream ride now. Like a 2024 Kia Telluride starting at just $38,998. That's thousands less than the competition. Plus 0% financing available on select models and tariff-free pre-owned vehicles ready to roll. Got a trade? Push it, pull it, drag it. Any make, any miles, any condition. We'll take it. Got a job making $350 a week? Our lenders want to approve you. Put your tax refund to good use. Drive away tariff-free today at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval terms, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. Offers don't combine.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home?
The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, you got 4 NHL playoff games tonight. You got 2 NBA playoff games tonight. You get the MLB in full swing. You have Monday Night Raw. If you could bet on that, I'm not sure. But over on Hard Rock Bet, you could touch on basically everything going on in sports. Go download the app today on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. Go to hardrock.bet online to get started today, because Hard Rock, it's a place that covers both ends of the spectrum if you're getting new or you're used to a sports book. If you're brand new and you're trying to get your feet set, go over to the Discover page, check out some of the deals, the profit boosts they have, some of the games, battle of the bets, and try to increase your value or tag along in other parlays that other users have put together. You can tag along, just a few short taps. That's how easy it is. Or if you're the experienced player and you want to, bet Korean baseball, you could do that as well. That's how much of a catering and acclimating to either side that Hard Rock Bet offers. Go try it now. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. It's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager, terms and conditions apply. Consider by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Well, Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat with you on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Now welcoming in our good pal Jonathan Zazzo, the voice of the 305.
You might know him as the Cooper City Rattlesnake. He's the human flamethrower of Miami sports radio.
Hey, you could be a maniac without being a jerk.
The preacher of the Pat Riley gospel.
They don't complain. They don't make excuses. This is the NBA. Deal with it.
The mayor of Dolphins Delusion.
Can the Bills offense keep up with the Dolphins offense?
And the only guy who can go from breaking down the Panthers power play to cutting a full-blown Ric Flair promo. Woo! Jonathan Zaslow is the voice of the 305.
Jonathan Zaslow of the Zaslow Show 2.0 joining us now. Zaz, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I had a great weekend. We had the NBA playoffs start. Don't love the Heat result last night, but the Stanley Cup got going, and we had WrestleMania. This was a major weekend in the Zaslow Mansion.
Well, let's start with the Miami Heat. I'm curious in your thoughts here. I watched that game, and honestly, it was a similar game to what we're used to when it comes to the Heat. But I gave them credit for the talent that they have and the discrepancy that there was and the amount of rest, the whole thing. Miami stayed in that game for the majority of it. Yep. And they flirted with the Cavs consistently throughout the game. They didn't get timely stops, timely defensive, lackluster possessions, a couple crucial turnovers here and there. But and Tyler Hero going invisible in the second half. Ultimately, I thought Miami played pretty well, all things considered. What's your takeaway?
Yep. Final score not indicative of what that game looked like through 3 quarters. It was an 8-point game at halftime with the Heat fighting back. They were down 16. Then it was an 8-point game after 3. So they were in it, and that's really the best case scenario for this Heat team is you want to be in the game in the fourth quarter. So like you said, if you get some stops, maybe somebody gets hot from 3, which, is what happened in the play-in game, Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, then you got a chance in a fourth quarter. So I think the Heat have a chance on Wednesday. I do. I think they have a chance to...
I think they'll win a game or 2 for sure.
Yeah, I do. Oh, absolutely. I think they have a chance on Wednesday. And, look, if... I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Heat are going to win this series, but if you win the game Wednesday, you're going to have a great atmosphere for Games 3 and Game 4. And that's what I'm looking for because, this Heat team, they've lost 6 home playoff games in a row. Like, can we get the Heat fan in the building for a playoff victory? It's been a couple years, and it's been 6 straight losses in the postseason in that building. So I would just like to see some competitive games here this round.
So, Zaz, as a Cleveland guy, I was worried, partner, to be honest. At halftime, cut it to about 6. I kept expecting pull away. It did not happen, to your point, until late in the fourth quarter. And listen, I know what I'm about to tell you would have never happened because of this situation. But, partner, I said earlier in the show, if the Heat had Butler, I think the Cavs would be in trouble. I know it's a big what if, but, The thing I told Colin and Christian, the number one thing why I think the Heat are going to lose in 5, they don't have a Garland and a Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's why. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If they had playoff Jimmy, and if Jimmy was playing for the Heat like he played for the Warriors last night, I think the Cavs would be in some serious trouble.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, this would be a Heat team that looks very similar to what they looked like a couple years ago if they had Jimmy Butler.
It would be.
I mean, they were the 8th seed. They make the postseason. All right, this time around, they're the 10th seed. First time ever, they make the postseason too. Yeah, they'd be dangerous.
Now, Zaz, are you? Is it sad? Is it sad at this point as a Heat fan? Is it sad to see Jimmy doing great, winning games, and then
No, but I did experience, watching the Warriors and Jimmy do his thing, and man, he was so good.
He was,
and it's wow, yeah, that's I remember that. He is really good. He's under control, and you trust him with the basketball. He's just so good in that spots, but in those spots. But he's also a lunatic, which is why the situation ended the way it did. He was here for 5+ years. I mean, that may as well be 100 years in NBA years.
Especially with him.
Very long time.
Especially with him.
Very long time. They made the finals twice in those previous 5 seasons. That's a good run. Unfortunate the way that it ended. So I watch it, reminiscing of what it used to be like, but I don't watch it all, angry or upset that he's not still with us anymore. I don't feel that way.
Now, Zaz, one thing I got to give Jimmy credit for is Jimmy has completely adopted that role that he had walked into another person's team in Steph Curry, and he has adopted that, do what I can. I'm the B. I'm the sidekick in this situation. I don't know if he ever would have done that in Miami, but that's why I got to give him credit. That's Steph Curry's team. That is Steph Curry. They live and die with Steph Curry getting hot. So he picks and chooses his moments to be a adequate contributor or a superstar. But I think the Golden State Warriors got lucky with the timing of everything sort of clicking at the right moment. On to the flip side with the Heat, I guess my question to you is, at this point, they're going to lose in 5, sort of have to start to figure out what the next steps are. They don't have a first-round pick. They lost that because they made the postseason. We know,
but they have the Warriors pick.
They do have the Warriors pick, which is going to be God knows where in the teens.
It's either, they actually did the drawing within the last hour or two because there was a tie break. It was either going to be 18, 19, or 20, so
right.
It's one of those 3. I should have looked it up. I don't know which, but
right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the late teens.
Yeah.
Point being, they're going to have to start to figure out what the next best steps are for the Miami Heat. What would you say those are?
Well, I think that finally, there's no mistake about it. This current run, the 5-year run, 5.5-year run with Jimmy Butler, it officially came to an end. So I'm hoping that the Heat actually moving on from him triggers them making, finally, significant changes in the offseason.
A splash move.
Yeah. All right, if you're trading away Jimmy Butler, you are telling everybody that's over. So I do think for the first time, and it's really only been a couple of years that the Heat fan has been pining for big change. The team refused to do it. They're keeping the core together. Well, they just told us we're not keeping the core together. They traded Jimmy Butler, so I do think everything is on the table this offseason.
So Zaz, you mentioned a splash. What would that be in your eyes?
Well, I think they're still going to make a play at Durant, man.
Okay.
That ship has not sailed. I think they're still going to try and get Durant, and I think Milwaukee is certainly a team to keep an eye on. What winds up happening if they wind up getting smoked in this first round? I don't know when Lillard's going to return. It feels like Game 2 or Game 3, but if Milwaukee gets smoked in this first round, which I kind of expect, what happens with Lillard moving forward? Heck, what happens with Giannis moving forward? So that's another situation to keep an eye on, is what's going on there with Milwaukee.
Yeah, Jonathan Zazzo joining the program now on Russo and Rizzo. Zaz, one thing that's interesting is Mike Rizzo started drinking the WWE Kool-Aid last night.
Zaz, so let me tell you the story.
What a weekend.
Brother, let me tell you the story.
I can't get into this.
Obviously, the first time we ever met, us 3 together,
was
at WWE.
Yeah.
So there's that. Number 2, I was in Boca for Easter. Easter was yesterday. I was at my uncle's, and my younger cousin is like 12, Zaz, and he loves it.
Good boy.
He lives and breathes it. And he goes, Mike, we're turning it on. We're watching WrestleMania. Zaz, I'm all in. I'm watching Raw tonight.
It's so fun.
I'm watching Raw tonight.
Tonight's a good one. Tonight's the biggest Raw of the year.
Zaz, Mike, I liked it so much. And I know after talking to Christian Cat, who is a huge wrestling fan like yourself, A lot of people didn't like the ending. I liked the ending. I like that the bad guy won. I like that John Cena. Hey, Zaz, can't see me.
I know.
I got hit to turn the heel. It's the first time he's ever playing the heel.
Yep, you got to learn the lingo.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm learning. I'm learning all this stuff. But I was hooked. And my favorite part, and I got to make sure I get this right. Allegedly, Stone Cold Steve Austin driving that ATV drunk and doing donuts and stuff, and then the beers on stage. Zaz, sign me up. I take it as theater. I don't take it as sport. I'm taking it to the point of theater.
It's a show.
It's fixed. I'm in. Zaz, I'm watching Raw tonight. I'm very excited.
It's the greatest show. It's live every week. They perform in front of you. There's no second takes, third takes. It's one take. They do it live in front of you. It's such a tremendous show, and tonight's a good night for you to watch because it's essentially the season premiere of the year for WWE. So tonight's a great night for you to watch. You have Netflix?
Of course.
All right, it's on Netflix. Everybody doesn't know it's on Netflix. Tonight's going to be a great Raw. It's the biggest Raw of the year, always the night after WrestleMania. And I loved it. Like, there's a lot of people who are critical about it over the weekend. You know, you want this guy to win or that guy to win. You want it to be a better story, whatever. I never look at it like that. I enjoy it. I always enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't go the way that I want it to go, that's okay. I still enjoyed myself.
What'd you make of the heel and Cena with the damn belt and begging for it? And
He's a real piece of garbage now, John Cena.
Boo!
Yeah.
Right? Zaz, boo! And the biggest thing I get a kick out of, that my brother and I did, Zaz, I get a huge kick out of, and no pun intended, you know they're going to kick out of it. You know they're not going to pin it. And the whole crowd, they can't believe, Zaz, they can't believe that he kicked out of it.
That's called a false finish. You got to learn the terms. That's a false finish.
Zaz, well, the fact that the whole crowd, they cannot believe that he kicked out. I was laughing. Zaz, I was laughing. I was screaming. I was booing. It was the whole 9 yards. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I'll tell you real quick, and I'll do this quickly because it looks like Colin's going to fall asleep.
He is. No, he is.
I can't get into this stuff.
I'll tell you real quick, okay? If you want to love it, you'll love it. If you don't want to love it, you won't love it. You know, like it's just about it's theater. And it's about, you know, what's the term I'm looking for?
It's scripted, Zaz.
No, of course it's scripted. Yeah. But, you know, anyway,
comic relief.
You gotta suspend your belief.
Yes, suspend disbelief. That's what I'm looking for. If you're willing to suspend disbelief, then you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't want to enjoy it, you won't enjoy it. That's okay, too. Colin, your thoughts?
I don't enjoy it. That's my thought.
I like that you're into it, Mike. You'll enjoy tonight's show.
I'm bought in tonight. Zaz, I'm bought in on Raw.
You'll enjoy it.
Why do they have all the guys from 20 years ago coming back, and that's the only spark that people seem to find?
Well, that's not true. It's not that it's the only spark, but everybody loves Stone Cold. You want to see him as much as possible.
And I loved watching him allegedly be drunk and drive ATVs and
How
do donuts.
How about the fan in the front row when he crashed into the barricade?
He crashed!
And the fan took a dive.
Yes!
I mean, he wasn't anywhere near touching her. She took a dive.
And Christian told me a bigwig from WWE came
down.
Yes, he came down.
Yeah, I hope they then looked at the replay like, ma'am, he was never near you. All right, keep it moving. They should have thrown her out the building. I didn't like that.
Okay. Jonathan Zazzo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, Colin Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Zaz, you got the Panthers at Game 1 tomorrow night. Give me a sense here. I was impressed with Toronto yesterday. Toronto's trying to...
they're big chokers. I'm not into
that. Talk about a team that's trying to get the monkey off their back.
Yeah, big chokers.
Give me a sense here. They get to that second round. What is your feel on Toronto?
Well,
are you nervous about them, or is it still the Toronto Maple Leafs? You're going to blow it in a big spot.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs are big chokers, but we cannot look past the Lightning. We need to focus on this. It's not like the NBA where the Celtics, we can look past the Magic. No. It's not like that at the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like
definitely not.
The Panthers have their hands full starting tomorrow night. It's a bitter rivalry. They are meeting each other. Panthers Lightning for the fourth time in 5 postseasons. Lightning have won 2 of the previous 3 matchups. This is a major rivalry. The Panthers took them out in 5 games last year, and this Lightning team, they feel kind of back. You know, last year was a little bit of a down year for them. They have Stanley Cup aspirations again, and don't forget, guys, the last 5 Stanley Cup finals, Florida and Tampa Bay have represented the Eastern Conference in all 5 of them.
It's a great postseason team.
So this is one of those like first round matchups where, you know what, the team that wins this series, they're probably going to come out of the Eastern Conference. So this is a major series right out the gate. The Panthers are fully healthy for the first time, maybe since the beginning of the season. They won't have Ekblad tomorrow. He's set to return Game 3 on Saturday from suspension. But otherwise, everyone else is available tomorrow, including Matthew Tkachuk. I feel great about tomorrow. It's going to be the next 2 months are going to be a grind if they want to win it again.
Now, Zaz, the Heat and the Panthers, they all play on the same night.
Terrible.
What's going to happen at the Zaslow Mansion? Who's
Terrible.
taking?
Games 3 through 7 are all the same day those teams are playing, Panthers and Heat. Games 3 through 7. Look, it's going to be difficult, especially when, this Thursday. Now, granted, the Heat aren't playing on Thursday, but we got the Panthers going on at the same time as Pearl Jam. And I'm obviously going to be at Pearl Jam on Thursday.
I mean, you're obviously going to be at Pearl Jam.
Obviously,
Zaz, this is the concert you don't go to.
Jam.
Yeah.
You don't need to be.
I need to be there.
Hang on.
I've seen it 500 times.
Zaz, this is if there's a concert to miss, if there's a concert to give your son the tickets to and to take a friend, it's this concert.
Yeah, well, luckily for me, the Panther game is at 6:30 on Thursday. So it'll end by 9 or so.
You'll be fine.
And Pearl Jam will take the stage around 9:10ish. So it's actually kind of perfect. I lucked out like that. But look, when the Heat and Panthers are playing at the same time, we went through this 2 years ago. When both teams got to their respective final rounds, they were always playing at the same time. So, look, it's back and forth. Big TV, small TV, depending on intermission, depending on halftime. There's a lot happening, all right? It's going to be very, very exciting again.
All eyes are going to be on Toronto, though. If they could get through past the first round finally and start to make, I don't know. That's going to be, that might, I don't have the Islanders. If I need a pseudo team.
Oh, is that the team if the Panthers don't make a run here? You're interested in Toronto breaking that spell?
I'm not a Panther guy.
Yeah, but you'll root for them, though, no?
So
you
Zaz,
want them to do well.
I'm in.
You're not in Toronto.
So Zaz, I'm in a tough spot because my brother works for the Lightning, and he told me he goes, Mike, you're not allowed to root for the Panthers. I said, brother,
people hate the Panthers.
You got to realize, mate, where I'm at. And Joe goes, Mike, if I hear you waffling about the Panthers on air this week, he goes, this is the only week. He goes, if they win this week, fine, whatever. If they win the series, fine. Zaz, I gotta be with the Lightning. I got to ride with the family on this one.
People hate the Panthers. Like they are such an easy team to hate if you're not a Panther fan. They play a very defensive
My brother
style.
treats them like they're the Ravens and the Steelers.
They're tough. They're very physical. They got unlikable players, who I love, but unlikable players. Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk, and now they got Brad Marchand. I mean, that rat, he's on my team now, so I like him.
Right. Now you like him. Zaz, where can people listen more to you if they want to tune in?
Zaslow Show 2.0, every day, Monday through Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. Zaslow Show 2.0, everything 305, everything Miami related. We sprinkle in some national stuff, maybe music, maybe movies. I don't know. I can't predict the future of what's going to happen. But Zaslow Show 2.0, wherever you get your podcasts, and every episode is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE. If you're involved in any kind of an accident, you got a personal injury, they have a specific set of skills they put to work for you. You call them, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-3733.
All right, Zaz, we appreciate it as always. Looking forward to talking again next week. Hopefully after a couple Panther playoff wins, maybe a Heat win or two. But looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Maybe I'm doing the show, popping aboard with you guys a week from today with the Panthers looking for the sweep. Who knows?
Yes.
I mean, come on. From my mouth to God's ears, right?
Yeah, right. Zaz, we'll talk next week, all right?
See you guys.
Later, Zaz.
Jonathan Zazzo, of course, of the Zazzo Show 2.0. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. We got to do a little temperature check with John C. Cassidy on the flip side as we close out the Monday program edition of Russo and Rizzo right here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift with endless possibilities. Give her a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. The Breakers gift card lets you treat Mom to all the things she loves, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. You can never repay Mom for all she's done, but a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach is a great way to start. Visit thebreakers.com today.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, we had a packed weekend of sports with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat on Russo and Rizzo as we close out the program here on a Monday, April the 21st edition of the program. And I think it's time to determine there are a little bit of pressure times here with the playoffs in 2 different leagues, NHL and NBA. Yeah, playoffs, if we count it. On the wrestling side of things, you get the MLB regular season rolling on here. You get the NFL draft on Thursday. So a lot to judge here, a lot to determine who's hot, who's not under the heat of the pressure. It's time to do a little John C. Cassidy temperature check.
Keep your cool. This is the Temperature Check.
Mostly sunny, highs in the lower 80s.
Presented by John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing, keeping Palm Beach County cool since 1960.
Plenty of sunshine today with seasonal temperatures. We should recharge.
Well, you heard it. To keep your cool temperature check with John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing, visit CassidyAC.com to get started today. They'll send out their highly trained technicians to troubleshoot, perform diagnostic systems. If you want to see, as the summer months are now approaching and the hot season is officially basically upon us right here in South Florida, make sure that your home is going to stay cool and comfortable. Some teams stayed cool and comfortable over the weekend. Some teams did not. We'll go around the table a little bit and determine who's hot, who's not, who was cool, who wasn't under the heat of the moment. I'll start here. And a team that I was very impressed with that stayed cool under pressure, in danger of falling game 1 in their building, with a lot of pressure on them sort of to play up to standards comparatively to some of their Eastern Conference counterparts is the Knicks. The Knicks there were down 98-90 with 7-8 minutes to go, and you go on a 21-0 run. They weren't afraid to put Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns in a 5-4 lineup, which allows Towns to get a little bit of a mismatch comparatively. That's how they used him in Minnesota. Ended up working. Cameron Payne, not afraid to put Mikal Bridges on the bench. I give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit. A lot of adjustments there, and they were able to kind of storm back and win game one and not to fall behind the 8 ball in the early part of that series. Give me credit for Knicks for staying cool under pressure.
I'm going to go with a hot team, and this is the Cincinnati Reds. 24 runs. You score 24 runs in a baseball game, scores 24-2. Their backup catcher, Austin Wynns, 2 home runs and a home run, 6 RBIs, 3 doubles. And then their young prospect, Novi Marte, 6 RBIs as well. 24 runs. And the sad part is the team they did it against are the Orioles, the team that I have in the playoffs. They've been a mess to start the year. Give me the Reds, scored 24 runs. And maybe that 79.5 count is a little more open than I thought it would be in the beginning of the year that I took.
You guys gave me a couple teams that kept their cool. How about a golfer who did anything but? It's a guy I love. It's a guy I followed when he was at the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches in Mexico. Joel Damon had a 2-stroke lead, 3 holes to go. Finished bogey, bogey, bogey. Lost the tournament. A lot at stake there. Not just money, but 2 years exemptions. Man, Joel Damon, he was vulnerable after the fact. Maybe he'll win next week. Probably not. It sucked.
You hate that.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, people that are not keeping their cool under pressure to flip it a little bit are NFL draft insiders who apparently nobody knows what anybody is doing in the NFL draft outside of a couple teams there in the top 10, top 15. It's kind of wide open other than that. Dare I say that's a good thing? Dare I say that not knowing where a number of teams in the top 8, top 10 are going in the NFL draft is good for the intrigue and the suspense of the whole thing. And instead of mock drafting my way to the promised land on Thursday, I'm going to give them a knock because every day we hear that Shadur Sanders is being floated to a different team. Sounds to me like we're grasping at straws, fellas. That's what it sounds like to me, not keeping the cool under pressure. Give me the NFL draft, guys.
Mine is, I got 2 for you, not keeping their cool. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Lakers. The Lakers getting blown out at home in game 1 with, LeBron basically being a non-factor, 19 points for the King in that matchup. Got to figure out how to get him more involved. And then Memphis, guys, you aware that Memphis lost by 51 points? Guys, 51 points, not 25.
Yeah, it's the most in a game 1 in NBA history.
Not 30. They lost by half of a century, more than half of a century. That is absolutely embarrassing. Those 2 teams not keeping their cool.
OKC is trying to prove a point there. That's exactly what they did.
51, Christian.
Grizzlies got my over, though. That's all that matters. I checked that score when it was early second quarter, I believe, because I was going to go home and turn it on. I was on my way home. And 51-22. I audibly gasped in the car. Sighed. At a red light. I wanted to watch that game. Too bad. Gross. Well, time for us to actually make a couple picks now as we try to put together a little bit of a streak here. Let's go streaking with Hard Rock Bet.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
We can't lose. We can't lose. We can't lose.
Survive and Advance is the name of the game.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure!
Tail the hot hand.
Continue this improbable run! 22 consecutive wins!
And fade the cooler.
Everything you touch turns to mush. People go to the racetrack and the teller will give him his tickets already ripped out.
Let's go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You guys doubted me. You said Seacat the dumb pick. Why are you picking Texas A&M baseball when they're taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks, the number 2 team in the nation for a reason? I said, give me the Ags. They came into the season high hopes, apparently, which I learned on this show, and they won the series outright. I'm on a 1-game winning streak after that win in college baseball last week. So I'll start us off. I'm going to stay in the NBA. It's at the top of mind, the top of conversation. Knicks fans are a little bit too high on their horses after the Game 1 win Give me the Pistons plus 6.5 to steal home court, 7:30 tonight.
Mike?
So I got minus 135, yay or nay? It's fringe.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, I'm going to go with Hunter Brown and the Astros at minus 135 tonight. Hunter Brown's on the bump. He's been great all year, 2-1 with a sub 1.5 ERA. Give me the Astros at home minus 135 against the Blue Jays.
I think the Clippers are going to steal one on the road. I know they're favored tonight on the road, but that's a demoralizing loss in that first game. I understand that. But the important thing is you don't want to fall down 2-0. Now, I give the Nuggets credit. They adjusted very well in the second half. And the Clippers really couldn't dominate them in the pick and roll, which they killed it. But Zubac was Jokic's kryptonite. He was Olajuwon, and they didn't use him in that second half. Give me the Los Angeles Clippers minus 1.5 tonight against the Denver Nuggets in Game 2 of that first-round series.
And I believe I've lost 2 in a row. Collins lost 2 in a row, and you are nothing.
On a one-game winning streak.
I've lost 3 in a row now.
Okay.
So I've lost 3 in a row.
Right.
Wow.
So fade
Russo and Rizzo. Literally.
We'll see.
Literally.
I'm high on my Clippers tonight. That's Mike Rizzo. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo. If you missed any of the program today, you want to listen back, go back to Russo and Rizzo, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to our full shows posted live there. Also, watch us streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been Colin Russo saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend as we roll on to a packed week of sports highlighted by the NFL Draft and the NHL and NBA playoffs. It's been Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat. We'll see you next time right here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.